There we go. All right. Give people just a couple seconds to get in here, and then we'll get started. Give the ping one more ping. All right. Let's get started. If you're joining in late, yeah, just have to join in late. But as usual, nothing here is financial advice. Everything is strictly for educational, informational purposes. No agenda as usual. Just shoot out your tickers, your contracts, your questions, and let's just see what's going on. The flows today, I think some people are interested in like PDD, I would say. A bunch of contracts today. The 130 October. Let's actually go to a different view here. So the PDD contracts that I'm currently tracking, we have the 125 Septembers that were originally opened August 13th, about 20,000 contracts, give or take. We are seeing more volume today, which could be sell volume, but I think it's more likely that it's going to be ads that we're seeing here, so we should see open interest increase tomorrow. The 125 end of September's had some big activity on Monday, the 18th. A whole bunch this morning, right at the open. We should see 45,000 open interest tomorrow. And then the 130 Octobers had a pretty big hit this morning. We should see open interest increase quite a bit tomorrow as well. Yep, so that's PDD. So I was just looking at it earlier, like an hour ago maybe, and then I saw this spike. And when you see a spike, there's a couple things you can do to try to find out what the spike is. One thing you could do potentially is go to the ticker's net flow page. Maybe click around, you might find, if you just look at the top chains, you might find something. So what was that contract that actually caused it there? That was was it the 125? Okay, so it was the 125.919. So the 125.919 is the second highest chain here. The chart's messed up here, so don't worry about this part of the screen. I'm just looking at this table right here. The 125.919 indeed caused that spike. Probably the easier way to do it would be just to open up a raw flow feed for PDD. So PDD, we were looking for a call spike, or a spike in call premium rather. So let's just pull up calls. We'll start at 50,000, and immediately the 125.919 stands out. So that's just like a quick, simple way to look for what's causing a spike. Yeah, so right here, pretty big activity. And yeah, it's trading at the high of the day. It's not been doing much lately, but all right. Let's see. Got any? I think Nick's voice is losing his voice or something. So if you want to just relay the YouTube comments, if you want to just copy and paste them in the chat, I'll just look at the chat.
Yep, will do.
So yeah, what other flows today? Let me go back to the watch list. Sort by added. Today's the 21st. We have that. Nvidia, potentially a call credit spread. Ooh, more volume on both of those contracts. So, so definitely some kind of. Give it a second here for this to load. They're both opening. There's been something going on with this pop-up that takes forever to load for some reason. There we go. So we have a lot of volume on the end of month Nvidia 182.5 strike calls, as well as the 192.5 strike calls. They are connected trades. At this point, we can pretty much guarantee that they're all open activity. Earlier in the session, when I made this original tweet, where is it? So I made this tweet at 1:48. It's currently 3, so about an hour and 20 minutes ago. So at the time, we only saw this candle and this candle. It's the 182.5, 192.5. So it's the same exact flow, but now we have another whole candle here of equal size. Doesn't appear to be a canceled trade. Let's just make sure. Nope, it's not. So yeah, I don't know if it's a call debit spread or a call credit spread. But we do know that some big spread is in play here. What else do we got? Some more HPE, potentially some 22-28 call spreads. There's actually a lot of HPE flow lately. HPE, it's kind of the similar story, right? I was already tracking HPE because there's been a lot of other HPE flow. So then midday I see this big spike and I'm like, oh, what happened? You know, I did the same thing. I just went to the flow feed. I just looked around. I see this this activity, which is multi-legged with the 28C, which is 100% being opened. These have 5,000 volume to 200 open interest. These have 5,000 volume to 18,000 open interest. So there's no guarantee that these are being opened yet. We need to find out tomorrow. But they've been using this 22 for a lot. I think, what's going on here? So today's volume, you can see 5,000 here, basically 100% multi-leg. This same contract also got hit for size on the 12th of August, also pretty much 100%. Let's take a look at what that was in a second. Also the 7th, 42, also 100%. So there's a couple spreads here, I think. 22, 25. So this one is, so there's a 22-25 spread opened on, this one was the 7th, August 7th. And then, so hold on, let's like actually just write this down. So HPE 2225 C919 opened August 7th. What else there? There's this one, which is open on the 12th, which is the 2226. 2226. So 2226 C919 opened Aug 12. And then today was what, the 2228, 2228, 2228, yep, 2228, C919, opened AUG 21. So there's a couple spreads using the 22. I don't know, something could be happening, something could not be happening. I don't know. But speaking of HPE also got a price target raised to 28 today from Morgan Stanley, so we don't hate seeing that. We like seeing that. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you think that a price target increases like the hedge funds of way of getting exit liquidity. You know, to each their own. But let's see what other flows we got here. So I'm gonna look at the chat. Adam is saying, what about the Intel 29C? Was that November 21? I think you're saying. What is going on with the website today? Intel. Here it is. Yep. So indeed, the 29C November, 16,000 volume to about 10,000 open interest. Pretty much all at the ask. 1.5 mil traded. Let's take a look a little bit deeper. So yep, this hit about an hour and 20 minutes ago. We have, let's put in a minimum premium of 2,500 just to whittle the fee down slightly. So what's the total volume on this guy today? Total volume is like 16K. What does the historical open interest look like? So does it look like someone could possibly have like a large position? Well, someone could definitely have a large position here, multi-legged. So that's kind of muddles it. So tomorrow's open interest will tell us quite a bit. So like, let's just say tomorrow's open interest is like 25,000 or something. Then you know that all of this stuff was open today. If it only goes up by like a couple thousand, then there's some room for doubt that maybe this guy is in play somehow. So yeah, a lot of this flow stuff, you have incomplete information. Like we have some information now, but tomorrow when the open interest value updates, we'll have even more information. So we're missing some information now, but we'll know more tomorrow. Guaranteed, we'll know more tomorrow. We won't know like if it's gonna print or I'm not saying like it's gonna tomorrow's like I'm not saying if the open interest goes up, then we know that it's gonna make money. We just know that we just know a little bit more about what's taking place. if the open, like based on the open interest is all I'm trying to say. So let's see. Next we got the Foot Locker. Got the Foot Locker January 2027 30s. Yep, indeed. Here they are. Two instances of volume. You can see that on the net premium chart pretty easily. This thing is trading at 3 times normal volume, and this contract is effectively all of that extra above average volume. When does this thing have earnings? The thing has earnings next week, so this is I guess technically like an earnings play, but like it's so far away that like it's not really an earnings play. Because like if you knew something, you wouldn't be buying 2027 contracts probably. Are they being bought? Who knows? See how wide the spread is here? Like they could have definitely, if I feel like they could have got them for cheaper. I mean, like it narrows down. The stock price goes up 3 cents, but they're paying less for the contracts. So I don't know. Don't know. But yeah, it's quite far away. So I would say it's probably not someone who knows, probably. All right, next contract. We got the BLND. BLND, the Blend Labs, the 4C November. 5C November also has some play. Looks like the 4C October also has some play. Blend Labs sounds like kind of biotechy. Where is it? BLND. Here we go. Trading 10 times normal volume. So that's something. Earnings is a long ways off, so it's not, most likely not earnings related. What do we got for the feed here? Yeah, it looks like long calls, if I had to guess. 351 or 11:30, 351 timestamp here. Some fills, and then like another minute later, some fills. Looks like buys, but you know I don't know anything about this thing. It's the first time I'm hearing about it. I think. Oh, consumer lending, banks, not biotech whatsoever. Yeah. I'll add it. I'll keep an eye on it. Moving on, we got the U 43 Octobers. Indeed. What will open interest be on these tomorrow? Who knows? Take a guess. Let's just, I'm going to post. If you're a subscriber, then you'll have access to this channel. If you're not a subscriber, then you won't. I'm going to make a poll in the Flow Discussions channel. Poll, what? Or I guess I can't really make a poll, huh? I'll just, whatever. We'll just make a little thing in here. All right, so let's take a screenshot right now of this right here. All right, so I just posted that U contract in the chart. So we got what, 43,000 volume, 3,001 open interest. What will the open interest be tomorrow? Now, there's obviously no way, no one knows what the open interest will be tomorrow. It could honestly be, it could be anything. But I guess it's just fun to guess. Why not? All right, let's see. W Day weekly has been called out. The 22, the weekly, I have this one right here. We got some bid side 265 weeklies, so like, you know, at face value, I guess mildly bearish. So there's no, so like, you know, on something like this, like I'd like to see open interest tomorrow, but like by tomorrow it's gonna be too late because this thing will have already reported. What does W Day's historical look like here? So W Day, historically, kind of a mixed bag when it reports. Sometimes the options are underpriced, as is the case when this X thing is shown up. Sometimes the options are priced fine, which is the case when the move does not exceed the priced in move. So this one's kind of no real trend, I guess here. I guess look at the other earnings tickers while we're here. Zoom, Workday, Intuit. We already looked at Workday. So Zoom kind of like an options killer mostly. Into could be worth looking into if you find something you like, maybe. And Rost kind of I guess I would lean maybe some kind of short volatility play. Next has been, let's see here, the bullish 919, 125 from yesterday. So by open interest, we see it here. Yep. Let's see. So yesterday, right before noon, we have about 2,400 volume, which all turned into new open interest effectively. Yeah, so these are a 2 times gainer now, looks like. In at 50, just traded at like 105. 10% day for bullish. That's cool. Yep. Let me see the chat here. ASTL. Am I reading that right? Yeah, ASTL. So a lot of volume in the morning. This thing is pretty much all, or this contract is pretty much all the volume for this ticker today. 80% of all, 86%, excuse me, of all ASTL activity, which in itself is trading 1.4 times normal options activity. Not an earnings play. What is this ticker? Steal something. So probably some tariff sensitive stuff. If it even is, I don't even know what's up with the tariffs anymore. Yep, that's it's something. All of these flows are something. They're all openers pretty much, which is what we're looking for to begin with. It's like the start of one's analyses. Has anything hit the flow since we started talking here? DHI, not earnings, end of month. What is DHI? DHI. Oh, it's Hortons. DR Hortons. That makes sense. Is there a home builder reporting soon? Is there so like a toll reporting earnings soon or something? Did I make that up? Toll? I don't know. I'll add that just to follow it. You still volume, but probably, yeah, we're not going to see 40,000 open interest tomorrow. Ooh, what happened here? So is you big decrease in call premium. So let's just fish around and see if we can see what happened there. So you calls, let's put in like, I don't know, 1K. It's probably too low. Oh, so the 36 B 1017, a large bid side opener, which, well, there's others because the net call premium has dropped like it's dropped like like 2 or 3 mil, and that's not all of it. So there's other stuff going on here. So what else is there? Looks like someone is selling probably, well, I don't know if they're selling, but there's a big bid side 25C for 1,800. That would explain it. That makes a lot of sense. But there's no way to see when this position was created, most likely, because it's such a small part of the total open interest. See, yeah. Maybe there's a day that's just like, how much was this? This was 18. Yeah, it's like it's impossible to figure out where this was. It was at May 8th. What happened on May 8th? Those are probably buys, right? I don't have to imagine those are buys. Could be, could be. Oh, with net call premium dropping even further. They still, here's the 37C now, the 37C October with a big hit. So they're coming in hard for a couple of these U openers. They're opening these for sure, for certain. U37C October being open 100%. U36C October being open 100%. The 25 is probably being closed, if I had to guess. We'll probably see open interest decrease tomorrow. But you will see open interest increase on the 36C and the 37C. What? Anyone on Twitter saying anything? Nothing useful. Let's get back to the requests. Next, we got the KGS. Oh, by the way, you can use the search bar to pull up any of these tickers as well, or any of these contracts, right? So like, what'd you say, KGS 37C? So KGS 37.5C. Is that it? That's the one. Boom. So about 50K in premiums here. Fairly insignificant volume. But are they opening? Hard to say. Couple timestamps. Definitely opening, right? I mean, that's one good thing to look for. Hard to say. The tape's a little bit tricky here. Not loving it, maybe. Not sure. Not sure on that one. How's our old boy PDD doing? How is PDD doing? PDD slightly up high. Cool. Moving on, we got the CSX 919.37. Speaking of CSX, I feel like CSX has had some recently. I'm not tracking any of it, but if I look at the net premium, do I see like any random call spikes anywhere recently? I guess it's not really working out for them. August 19th we'll look at, and then like August 8th maybe. August 19th. Calls August 19th. Nope, that's not it. So what was the next one I wanted to look at? Another thing I can do is actually, I can go to the preset alerts, which is where these are the Discord alerts. So if you guys are in the Discord server, the subscriber section, under, where is it? It's on the left under options and market alerts. All of like the live flow channel, the stock updates, you can access that here on the website. So what was the ticker that I was just looking up? CSX, that's what it was. CSX. Do we have anything recently? Nothing recently. Is that true? Can that be true? Let me check the Discord. That doesn't feel right. This thing probably just doesn't remember. So the last CSX thing was on August 1st, so it probably just doesn't remember that far back. Okay, so maybe I'm misremembering. Let me check the flow discussions channel real quick. CSX. Yeah, I guess there hasn't been anything. Maybe it was CX. I don't know. I'm wasting time here. Let's move on. Newbie says Diz, just the ticker Diz. Do we have anything for Diz today? No, I don't think it was CVX Law. It was some 3-letter, I don't know. Diz, not seeing a whole lot on the Diz front today. Diz has kind of just been, it hit 120 and then it just kind of stalled out after hitting like sub 80 or something, whatever. Not seeing much on Diz. Let's see here. T says the RKLB end of month 44 strike calls indeed. However, I can see right off the bat this little column right here, multi 84%. So 84% of all of this volume is attached to another trade. So let's take a look. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but that just requires another look. So indeed, if you just looked at this chart, if you just looked at the volume in the open interest, you would see 16,000 volume, you'd see 1,000 open interest basically, and you think to yourself, okay, yeah, definitely an opening trade. Nothing wrong with thinking that. That's completely true. But if you look at the actual feed, we can see this was a multi-leg trade with at least one or more other options coming in here. And let's take a look. So this is actually a 5-legged trade in which some contracts are being closed and some are being opened. So the ones that are being opened are 100% the next week 37 put, 44 call, 35 put, and what's being closed most certainly is this week's 38.5p, 45p, or 45c rather. It's just a very complex trade. I don't exactly know what it is. They do this kind of stuff all the time for a variety of tickers. You can see this entry right here on the 45c expiring tomorrow that they're closing. You can see the entry here on the 38.5p that they're closing. Same volume. Here it is. This happens on like a lot of tickers. I don't know why they do it. It's like not a directional play. I don't know. It's just strange multi-leggers quite often. All right. Let's see. Slylas is sharing some more HPE. Can I see it on the chart if I just pull it up? Yep, another spike right here. So let's just do the old faithful. Let's just pull up the feed, type in HPE. I'm looking for calls. Since this is like a smaller cap ticker, we can probably get away with like 1K. That didn't really change the results, but that's fine. I can see the 25C February opened up right here, about 3,000 volume. Yep, that's just more HPE. So I don't know. Something could be happening. Something could not be happening. I don't know. We'll see. Moving on. Get the Tesla. The Tesla end of month 307.5p. Indeed, a big single leg opener. And you can see that reflected in the net put premium. Who knows? Let's see, moving on. We get the RGEN 105. Yep, so in the case of RGEN, 100% of these volume is attached to another trade, which you can see another 750 here. So these are probably, it's some kind of call spread. But since they're both at or closer to the ask, it's kind of hard to figure out what direction the spread is going in. So we see the 140 and the 150 Decembers, both with 750 volume on the dot. Both are being opened. There's only 30 open interest here. There's only 2 open interest here. Probably, I mean, like the 140 is coming in at the ask. It is a wide spread, but it's coming in at the ask. The 150 has a very, very wide spread. And it's coming in closer to the ask, yes, but like, I don't know. I mean, like the there's an absence of clues here, so not a lot to work with, unfortunately. See here. Sorry, I'm just doing something off screen. All right. Moving on. TMLS6 is saying, what is up with all these in the money puts for tomorrow? So I think I have a suspicion of what you're talking about. Let's look at just stocks. So you will on occasion see, and by occasion I mean like pretty much every day, you will see super in the money puts in the millions. So like Here's ticker hubs trading at 455. Oop, I'm going to pause the feed so it stops doing that. So we have ticker hubs here trading 455. They're trading, you know, the 600, the 640, the 670 puts. It's just put arbitrage. If we look at this, if we look at the historical data on this hubs 670, you can see that it actually gets millions and hundreds of thousands in premiums traded pretty frequently, but you can see that the open interest just like doesn't do anything. It's just like put arbitrage. Basically, it's just like it's a play on interest rates. So like here's the Microsoft that's trading at 506. You know, the 545, 525, 547. You know, it's all quite the money. Target trading at under $100. You know, the 165p, 150p. Is this, yeah, so this has been used yesterday. It was used on the 15th. There's no change in open interest. Let's see if we can just look at some more here. Now, some of this stuff might throw off the net premium for the ticker, which is unfortunate. So, like in the case of FSLR, like this fall off in net put premium is most certainly from it's from this 240p that's been trading at the bid, which isn't actually flow. It's trading at 139 or 193, excuse me. Like Lulu here trading at under 200. They're trading the 440p, the 400. Yeah, this one's used daily. See how this one's open interest is 70. It's been 71 for forever. And all this volume every day, all this hundred or thousands volume, this is just them arbitraging this contract. So it's a complex trade that we can't do. And they just make a few pennies per contract. But when you add up like, you know, 940 pennies and you do it every day on like a dozen tickers, like it starts adding up a little bit. So that's just a complex trade that unfortunately we can't take part in. It's effectively free money for them. But it's like free pennies. Yeah, so I don't know. All right. Moving on, we got the coin. 829, 315. Is this a multi-legger? It is. The coin is one of the ones that has these big multi-leggers basically every day. I suspect it's going to be a 4 to 5 legger. Let's see. Yep. So it's a 4 legger in which I suspect the contracts expiring tomorrow are being closed and the ones expiring next week are being opened. If I flip back a week, we're probably going to see candles that are these exact same sizes. Boom. So yeah, I don't know what it is. It happens all the time. That's why looking at the multi-leg percentage is pretty critical, right? If you just look at this contract, if you just look at this screen right here, and you see, oh, 5,000 volume, 500 open interest. This is definitely an opening trade. Yep. 2.5 mil. Everything's good. But then if you skip over this 92% multi-leg, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not seeing the whole picture here. Let's see. D is pointing out the HPE contracts in February that we just went over. Let's see. Did I add those? Wait, 20. Oh yeah, 25. Yep. So 25. Here they are. Let's see. T saying, is there anything in particular you would check going into Jackson Hole for a potential vol event? It's a good question. Honestly, don't have a great answer. Let me message someone right now and see if they can suggest something real quick here. Give me a second. All right, so I've asked someone much smarter than myself. Maybe they'll get back to me while we're still on this stream. BSX, someone said BSX, or not BSX, BX. So the BX January calls have been getting hit pretty consistently all day. We should see like plus 5,000 open interest tomorrow. I think it has earnings overlapping, but that doesn't make it an earnings trade yet. So I mean, definitely earnings overlapping because it's expiring in like half a year. So like, yeah, there's going to be multiple earnings calls probably between now and then. So yeah, definitely opening the BX Blackstone. Don't know. All right, next we got the Sound 919 8P. So an opening trade for sure, 4,000 volume to 28 open interest, 2,800, excuse me. Kind of a low a low cost contract here. Sound. Probably not one I would sprinkle money into, just because like it's a little bit too cheap. I mean, that's not to say that cheap contracts don't work. I mean, like, you know, if you go from 2 cents to 4 cents, it's 100%, right? Yeah, I don't know. Definitely an opener for sure. Someone's saying the int 29, the 29 Novembers we went over a little bit ago. Those are hanging out there. I'm not really tracking any other int. So this is a long calls that they got rid of. They bought these like here, and then they sold them here. This 21 and the 24, this is part of a call spread. So on August 4th, you can see big volume on the 21 here. Big volume on the 24 here, so there was a call spread, but there's also a short put component too that I didn't add to my watch list. Until the 29th that we just went over, and then the 30s, when were these? These were from a few days ago. Or no, I added these originally back here. So on August 12th, some activity in the Intel 30 strike calls expiring in Feb. That was the original flows. All right, next contract we got is the Regetti. The Regetti Spaghetti 919 9P. Here it is, front and center. Let's take a look. So probably not one that I would be buying as well. I mean, like if they've already, if the spot, if the ask is already is 0.7, they're already down, you know, like 20 racks or more. Which I mean, like, you know, that has nothing to do with whether about the viability of the flow or not. It's just not completely convinced that they're long puts, I guess. Not earnings. I don't know if there's any catalysts. I mean, I guess the catalyst would be that like AI quantum is all bullshit, right? A little bit of chatter about that lately. People are starting to get scared. Couple of red days and they think AI is stop. To be determined. Next, we've got the EOS weekly 6C. Spicy. So the weekly 6C, not as spicy at all. So the 2400 volume, yes. Open interest exceeds the volume, so we need to take a look at this real quick. Perhaps this is old flow, maybe. Doesn't appear to be old flow. There was some flow on the 5th, which is here, which is like looks like a short call potentially because it's all the bid. 0% multi open interest increase is pretty much the same size. Hard to say. I mean, maybe on the 15th they're closing their position because there's a lot of volume and then open interest doesn't really budge that much. Hard to say. But not. This probably not opening flow if I had to guess. Yeah, likely better prospects elsewhere. We got 20 minutes left. Let's take a look at the feed right quick, see what we got. Some more U. I mean, like, again, we don't know how much of this is buying, how much of it is selling. Open interest tomorrow is anyone's guess. Diz, if you had asked about Diz now, as opposed to like 10 minutes ago, we would have seen this come in. Weekly 115p. I don't know if you want to throw a flyer at it, be my guest. I don't know. Yep. Not everything is someone knows, right? Like, yes, it's 170K, but like, we don't even know if they're being bought. They could be sold. They could be short, or they could be long Disney and just like, you know, hedging, or they could have any number of stuff going on that we have no clue about. So we always take this data with, I guess, a fairly large grain of salt. But yeah, just don't think that everything is someone knows. I think a lot of people get in trouble thinking that everything that's of 100K or more someone knows. It's probably not the case. Most of the flows are probably not someone knows, if anything. Let's see here. Next, we got the FIP. The FIP, FIP, 919, 5C. Yep. Also have some volume on the 4C, however. And I guess it could be relevant because it does have 12,000 open interest, 12,000 plus open interest, but much of that came overnight. So suspect we saw maybe, I mean, I don't know what color the candle is, but there's going to be a big candle on FIP4C yesterday. That was a cross trade. So there's some volume of on the 13th, single leg. Who knows? Who knows? What is FIP? What is FIP? Industrials. But anyways, you said the 5C, right? So the 5C, some small flow. When does it expire? September. Not earnings. Don't know. So Polar Bear says, so how do we find the flow of people who do know? So it's a game of probabilities, right? So like, you know, if we look, like, let's just pull up some flows here, right? So like, or rather, so like, all right, so let's just compare. I'm not saying that one of these is better or is gonna hit and one of these isn't gonna hit, but like between the two, I guess. So like, let's see, let's just find some shit here. All right, so like the SoFi 15p September for $7. Like, yes, 7,000 volume. It's 50 grand, which is like more than I've ever dropped on an options play. So it's, you know, it's a whale in my eyes. But you know, that's not a flow that I would probably take as compared to something like, okay, so again, I'm not endorsing it, but something like HPE, where there's, how many contracts am I tracking here? I'm tracking potentially 6 contracts of activity that I can at least feel, you know, I can say, hey, there's more than just one, you know, here's one SoFi put, as opposed to like here's several different potential longs. Like, I have evidence that there's opening calls on HPE for the last couple of weeks, right? When you know, given that, I would, you know, I'm leaning HPE. I mean, that's kind of like a shitty example because, like, I'm sure if I was paying attention, I'm sure we'd see some other SoFi puts out and about. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other examples. I mean, like, there's stuff that's just like so far to the money. Like, you know, when you see like the Tesla ADP, like that, they don't know shit. All right. When you see the Nvidia 50p, they don't know shit. All right. When you see the Tesla 700C, they don't know shit. There's just it's a game of probabilities, honestly. That's really it. It's probabilities. I wish there was more to it. S is saying the hood September 125. I do recall that. Do I have it? I didn't save it. Hood 125. There it is. So they opened these earlier in this session. They're just hanging out. I suspect we will see at least 5,000 plus open interest tomorrow. We'll see. Someone is requesting the Bath and Body Works 29.5 weekly. Indeed, some potential openers on this. Let's take a look at the tape. So it does look like opening buys. If I had to guess, very short dated. I mean, I guess they're at the money, but who knows? It is trading ex-div tomorrow, so the stock will drop by whatever the dividend amount is tomorrow. So you're fighting an uphill battle, kind of. I wonder what the deal with that is. Let me see. Let me look on Twitter. Is anyone saying anything on Twitter? BBWI. Nothing. Nada. Yeah, I don't know. Just be careful with weeklies and like 0DTs, guys. Like I know when they hit hard, but like when they don't, you just end up losing a lot of money for nothing. We got 13 minutes. What's the market doing? What's the Mag 7 doing? Have a poopy day. Let's see here. Slaless is sharing some Chewy. What did you share here? You shared the 41. Yeah, the spread's pretty wide on the calls. Puts, I mean, I guess even though it's coming in quote unquote at the ask, the fact that it's so wide just like doesn't feel good. What's the stock trading at? Stock's trading at 40. Does this have earnings? It's not earnings. How much are they? I mean, I guess it only costs them 10. Because if they're selling the 43 for 42 and they're paying 52, so the difference is 10. So I guess, but like the calendar part always throws me off because like I don't know, I don't use them enough really, I guess. HPE, not the biggest money, but something. 9.5, 21.5. Keep an eye there, just to keep an eye. Do we have any volume on any of the stuff that I'm watching? Let's see, any new volume that is. If you guys are tracking the IBIT 65C September 5, that was opened yesterday before the close. It looks like they closed a decent portion of those today. What else? BSX just chilling. So this is not the UPS contract that some of you guys are probably thinking about, but there was some UPS 90C on October. You can see two big bars here on the 14th. You see a bar of 4,300 size. You see a bar of 5,400 size. But open interest only goes up by 2,000. So I'm fairly 99% certain that it was an in and out, like a round trip. So like they didn't hold those contracts into the close. Not sure what's going on here. The other UPS contract that I was tracking was, I think it was like a 90C as well, or was it a 95C? 95, same expiration. Is that the same? Could it be? No, no. Probably no relation. Could be a relation. I don't know. Who knows? 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. So I'm just looking at my phone because you guys aren't talking to me. Got some candles. Peace Guy. Seen some Peace Guy chatter lately. Not sure what it is. Peace Guy. Jurassic asks, do I ever use the option screener or interval flow? I do. Just don't have it up on the stream. I basically just tailor my interval feed to look like the ask flow thing. They're basically gonna have the similar results. They're just different purposes. So I can see this interval ask filter that I use. See all these flags on these contracts? Like these are all ones that you guys have suggested. So like you guys are looking at the same stuff I'm looking at. Yeah. So don't think that you guys aren't missing out on anything. You guys are looking at the same shit I'm looking at. I don't have like a secret freaking filter or anything. As for the screener, yeah, the screener, I don't have one bookmarked on this internet profile, but like just build a screener very easily. I guess we can do that now with that we have. So like let's just say you're looking for supposed like buy activity, right? So if we're looking for buy activity, we don't know for certain if they're being bought, but if we assume that something that's trading at or close to the ask is being a buy, we would favor chains that have a more ask activity. So we'll start with 70% ask there. Let's do a minimum premium of like 250K. I want contracts that are only trading volumes greater than open interest for all the reasons that we always discuss. I don't want too much open interest though, so like let's just cap it at like 5K. I want at least 1,000 volume. Let's say 1.25 follow I. Don't want to see too much multi-leg activity, so let's say 0.2. I think that might be kind of good. Is there anything else I'm missing here? So if I click into like any one of these, we're probably, let me just go with stocks. I don't want ETFs. So if I click into any one of these, we're probably going to see like 1 or 2, maybe 3 big candles. So this is just like a very basic screener. Not all these results are going to be good. But again, screeners are just meant to weed down like the sea of information into just like a little bit of stuff that you can work with here. So let's just click around here. I'll just drop the link in the chat. So I dropped the link of this specific screener into the chat. There's probably some more tweaks we could do, but let's just click around just to see. Oh, I'm looking at the, oh, I had my date wrong. Oops. So let's go to August 21st. So this is for today. So these are all contracts that are trading, as we mentioned, 70% of all volume at or closer to the ask. 250K on the chain, traded dollars, that is. 5,000 open interest, minimum 1,000 volume, et cetera, et cetera. So we have the SoFi 26C opened earlier. Here's a test. The Tesla we talked about, someone shared in this chat. Foot Locker, someone shared in this chat. BX is just something that I saw. HPE shared in the chat. Let's see. Let's just go from the bottom here. Just looking. So like all of these are generally not, again, like they're not all going to hit, but they are all at least mostly going to be opening activity from which you can now decide to look further into it or not. BTI, I've been hearing a lot of shit about BTI lately. What is BTI? There's like a lot of contracts with like opening ask flow today, I think. Yeah, so like all freaking 5 of these, not, it's like maybe these 1, 2, 3, 4 are openers. 2200 volume to 350 open interest. 1329, 1302, 1121. I mean 802. So I don't know. Something's going on. British American Tobacco. I don't know anything about it. It's not dividend flow because it's out of the money. So I don't know. Lift 15C March 2026. Weekly LY got clapped. VNet CNQ. Well, looks like the CNQ got hit the other day too. Although at the bid, we have to remember that just because it's at the bid doesn't mean it's a sell. Could be buys. These could be buys too. Could be them adding to their position. You know, you might see open interest at like 8K tomorrow, slightly under 8K. It couldn't be 8K because if you add these two numbers up, they don't add up to 8K. So it'll be like maybe 7,900 maybe. So yeah. Let's take one last look at the feed. The Moo 120. The Moo 120.95 seeing some volume just now. Are they buys? Are they sells? Does the tape point us in one direction or another? Let's see. Hard to say. Sometimes the fills go up, sometimes they go down, and they're mostly going up. Are they buys to open? Looks like the price action kind of juked them out of their shoes there. Am I tracking any other Moo flow? Moo. I think this is just a short. Yeah, I think this is just short 95p October. Didn't know. Let's see here. Slilas sharing some Ross to weekly flows. Ross has earnings tonight. Ross stores. The weekly 145. Maybe they're selling out after they opened, perhaps. What is that? How much volume is that? 600-ish volume, give or take. That's about 600 there, which is obviously far from an exact science, right? Just using my eyeballs. So, I mean, but again, this one has earnings tonight. So by the time you check open interest tomorrow, it'll have already moved. So like the open interest update doesn't really help you there. There's a decent amount of multi-log activity. Where's the multi-log activity from? Some of the 145p is probably being traded with 135p bid. Hard to say. Can I find one with more contracts? Here's 50 contracts, maybe 50-50. It's complicated. Yeah, flow is always there's a lot of shit going on. Most of the time, you can't tell what's going on. Like I don't know what's going on here, and that's fine. I think I bring this up like at least once a stream. That if you don't know what's going on, like in any bit of flow, it's really okay. Just find another bit of flow to look at. There's a whole bunch of complex strategies at play that like I don't know anything about. You know, complex hedging instruments, you know, I don't know. There's a lot going on that we don't know anything about. And I think this is probably one of them. I mean, all this is being, I mean, is this, volumes, I don't know. It could be just like, it could potentially be some kind of bearish earnings play, right? If they're selling the 146C, if they're, I mean, this mostly at the bid here too, kind of, I don't know. If they're buying the 145p, writing the 130p for like a put debit spread, I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Looks like the market's closed. Do we have any early earnings reporters? What's today, 21st? Right, today's 21st, yep. Pre-market after hours. All right, let's see.
Got some Zoom and some W day.
Oh wait, is Ross already pooping? Is that it? Is it already going?
Yep, it's down 6% already.
What did it close? It closed 145-ish. It is already, where'd my calendar go? Lose my calendar. There it is. Yep. So I guess if you were bearish, you potentially win there. Jurassic, thank you for tuning into the stream. Thank you everyone else for tuning into the stream. Oh, looks like Ross is coming back a little bit. But yep, if you guys miss anything, if you want to revisit anything, just check out the YouTube channel and the VOD will be available immediately. And looks like Ross just did the reverse. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Later, dudes. I'll be able to use my voice next time, I hope.